Smith County Commissioners approve another agreement with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Good evening and thank you for being with us. Smith County Constable's Office is the latest East Texas agency to partner with ICE. Tonight, a closer look at what the agreement means and reaction from people on both sides of the issue.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, with one opposed.
With that, the Smith County Commissioners Court voted 4-1 to approve an agreement between ICE and the Precinct 4 Constable's Office.
If we encounter individuals that are involved in criminal activity and they do happen to also be an illegal immigrant, it gives us that pathway to be able to identify them and utilize our resources to make sure that we get those criminals off the street.
The agreement allows Constable Josh Joplin's office to take part in what's called the task force model, which according to ICE allows local agencies to enforce limited immigration authority during their routine duties.
In our scenario, we are not focusing on immigration enforcement. We are simply using this as a tool out in the field for if we run across someone who happens to be an illegal immigrant that is involved in criminal activity in our precinct.
The issue packed the commissioner's courtroom with people speaking for and against.
When local law enforcement becomes entangled with federal immigration enforcement, the results are not simply more arrests. The results are children kept out of school, families living in fear, and communities that become inherently less safe.
I support authorizing the Precinct 4 Constable's Office to partner with ICE through the 287G program, and I support empowering local deputies to enforce federal immigration law.
Commissioner Ralph Caraway Sr., the court's lone Democrat, was the only vote against the agreement.
I'm not against Constable Joplin in any way. I just feel like what's in place now with the Sheriff's Department satisfies me.
He's talking about a similar agreement approved 2 weeks ago today for the sheriff's office, one he and the rest of this court voted in favor of. A difference between the sheriff's agreement and this one is that Constable Joplin says he's choosing to not be reimbursed by the feds.
I feel like when you start to reimburse officers that are on duty for spending their time doing ICE and immigration enforcement, it gets to the point where you're policing for profit. We're not bounty hunters. We're not out here hunting people.
Say no to ICE and make it safer for all of my family to be here, not just the white ones.
In response to fears of racial profiling, Joplin says it's something he won't tolerate when it comes to his deputies.
I will fire that person immediately. There will be no disciplinary action. I'm not going to butter them up. I'm not going to sweep it under the rug. I think most of the community that I serve knows that I kind of tell it like it is, and I don't have much time for crap. And so if that's how they're going to do things, they won't be working for me.
Now, Precinct 4 covers the northeast portion of Smith County, including Winona and Chapel Hill. The vote to approve that agreement came almost 3.5 hours after the meeting started, with about 40 people speaking for and against the measure.